Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, Jack. How are you?
Very good. Nice sunny day up north for a change.
Likewise. It rained yesterday all day. It was miserable, but now it's all good.
Awesome. Right, let's get stuck into this week's programming. The week of starting the 21st of March. This is quarterfinals week. Most gym members probably didn't qualify for quarterfinals. I might be wrong. I
think you're right.
Because our gyms are super fit.
That is true. My gym, there's lots of masters, so they've all qualified for in a few weeks' time.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, a few in there. Yeah.
Good. We are thinking about putting quarterfinals workouts in next week, aren't we?
Yeah.
I feel like what we'll probably do is we'll still write a full week's worth of training in. And if any quarterfinals workouts come up, we'll do similar to what we did for the Open and be like, here's the session, here's the warm up. If you want to put it in your class or swap it in, feel free.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There'll be some good ones. And again, like as we're all fans of the sport, so trying to emulate what people do is always quite good. Obviously, the Open's a great eye-opener. I think I was doing that deadlift one, and I think I was in the round of 10, just about to come back down. I looked at the clock and I was like, oh no, Olsen's finished. I was like, little laugh to myself. I was like, keep going, Jay, you've got another few minutes to go. So yeah, it's always good to get humbled by the Open. Has humbled everyone this year because of the simplicity of it.
Yeah, it really has. And some people have liked that and some people haven't liked that as well. I've seen both ways, people being like, oh, it's rubbish, this Open. It's like, well, it's just that they've created another stage and it needs to be accessible, that first stage. So you just got to accept it rather than having a little moan. So, yeah.
My leaderboard score is lower, probably, because of the simplicity and the entry level. But from a coach's point of view, the first 2 weeks, because obviously the last week did get a little bit harder, but the first 2 weeks really encouraged people to RX it. And I saw the most amount of members RX in workouts than ever before. And that's what the Open wants to really bring out in people. It did also mean in week 3, a few people tried to RX workouts and maybe got a slightly smaller score than what they would have done if they would have just automatically gone for the scaled option.
That's really interesting.
So from a gym point of view, and yeah, very good.
Awesome. They were just dangling the carrot there for the 3 weeks, weren't they? And then everyone was like, go on then, I'll just do the last one RX. So yeah.
Totally.
Did quite well CrossFit there doing that. It's good.
Yeah.
Right, let's get stuck into this week then. This Monday, we've got some squats, but we've got to clean it up off the floor. Nice little touch this. We've done this quite a few times before. It just allows us to get a little bit more technique work in on the clean. And you've got to make sure that you do a good squat clean to then get another 4 good front squats after that initial first lift. It probably will get quite spicy this as well because it's an EMOM format. Yeah. So it'll be like maybe 20 seconds on, 40 seconds rest roughly. What have you? Is there anything you're kind of pointing out on these front squats here, Jamie?
Yeah, I think the intensity is gonna ramp up after around about 3 to 4 minutes. The first few minutes, you're going to be fine. You're going to come down. You're going to compose yourself. Then that heart rate's just not going to come down as much as you really want it to. I don't think the leg fatigue's going to be too much. So it is 50 front squats. It will get punchy if you are pushing at the top end of that 70%. But I think it's the accumulation of the minimal rest. And then all of a sudden, if it takes a little bit longer to pick it up, it means it comes around a little bit sooner. Yeah. We did put in the notes, if it is starting to get on top of people, rather than going every minute, go every 90 seconds. So if you've got a beginner who's a bit shaky bakey about it, as in it takes them a little bit of time to kind of suss out what they should be doing, just slow them down a little bit. Then it means they won't get on top of it as soon as. So yeah, just a nice start to the week. This might make you quite sore if you are pushing it, but I think there's no harm in being a bit sore from the Monday.
I also think it's kind of this time where everything's built up a little bit to this time of year, so you should be pretty prepared, I think, for this session. Other key thing I want to add for the front squats is that I would try and add in as a little bit of a challenge is try and get members to keep a full-handed grip, or at least in the palm of the hands as much as possible going into those front squats, just to help them keep a bit more tension in their upper back and the thoracic there. That will just kind of stop them going into this position.
Yeah. Wallace and Gromit.
I've not heard that one before.
Have you not? Cheese. Wallace and Gromit.
I've heard mashed potato and prawn, but yeah, I've never heard Wallace and Gromit. I like that. So yeah, the other thing to add on to that is when the elbows come in, that's when the upper back does round. Try and keep them elbows out as much as possible, and it should be a weight where you can actually, you know, really force yourself to do that as well.
Yeah.
Chest to bar Cindy. We had strict Cindy this week, chest to bar Cindy next week, so a little bit of a higher skill version. Good little format as well. 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. We should be able to kind of keep a good intensity here while maintaining the chest to bar pull-ups.
Yeah.
For members that maybe can do like 5 to 8 chest to bar pull-ups, but obviously with it being in the workout, 5 might be on the limit. What are you saying to those members, Jamie?
Yeah, I think the 1 minute rest is great to preserve that intensity across, and it'll also maybe be able to preserve some of that gymnastics later on across the 5 rounds. Down thinking we're aiming for 2 sets each time. So if we're doing 3 chest to bar pull-ups, in our first 2 minute window, we're getting 6. And then across the whole workout, we're getting 30. So what we want to do is always try, as a group of coaches, extrapolate out the total volume that you could be getting, rather than thinking in that moment of the 2 minutes, okay, I can do 5. But it's like, well, can you do 5 in the 5th round, in the last minute of the workout? So just being honest with those members, dropping the number down a little bit, and then seeing how you go. The push-ups, as most Cindy's go, are normally where people start to break down. 10 push-ups don't look like a lot, but then ultimately you see people shaking them out, doing 1s and 2s. Hopefully we don't get to that within the 2 minute windows. So be sensible on it. Bring that number of push-ups down if you need to, or go to a kneeling push-up or on a bench or on a box.
Awesome. Going into Tuesday, I've added a new feel here. Have you seen?
Wow, pretty.
I thought it was a good one to. I thought it was a good one to add. You know, move like a princess, because it's one of them where we do put like bits, you know, parts of classes in there where the primary focus is just to move as well as you possibly can with that movement. And we usually sometimes program it in a format where it won't really break down. So it's one of them where it's like move like a princess on every rep all the way through. So I thought it was quite a good little one to add.
Yeah, it's bang on as well. It hopefully will encourage people to not overload it as well.
Yes.
Like that's the key to this. Like every 30 seconds, it should be a nice snappy snatch. Hopefully you're not going to have to adjust your feet to then go into your overhead squat. And that'll be your real focus. Like challenge your members. Penalty of if you step forward, step backwards, or even the extra adjustment of feet from snatch into overhead squat.
Yeah, we always tell Reggie that move like a princess, because he just needs to move more efficiently. So we're always saying move like a prinny, Reg. On the workout, this one it's just going to hurt. There's nowhere to hide on that. It's just low skill. Yeah, push. That heart rate's going to go up and it's going to stay up for the 3 rounds.
Yeah, we did this. This workout was brought from a good 8-9 months ago from the program. I remember doing this in the class, and I was in a group, and you have a good push. It's all about trying to kind of really run as hard as you can while being able to maintain the speed of the other 2 movements. Now, there's no point absolutely blowing the doors off on that first 400 for the 15 burpees over the dumbbell to look like they're the last 1000th burpee that you've been doing. So it's about kind of measuring it. So I would say for members, first round, 85% effort on the run. Get your hand on the dumbbell, unbroken, dumbbell goes down, move the burpees quickly. And then the first 50 to 100 meters of the run, you need to decide how hard that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can then either continue to push in deeper to that workout, or you're like, oh my God, I've bitten off more than I can chew. I need to back it off. It was it's a great workout. It's a good one to kind of, for newer people to get some intensity, because the 3 movements are very, very simple.
Yeah. Will be a spicy one, that for sure. On to Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. This has been in again earlier. Well, within the past year, we've also put this one in. So again, it'll be an interesting one to see where people are at, especially if people have done rope climbs in the past on this one. We've had rope climbs in like every other week for the past couple of months. So for the gyms that do have ropes, like I say, it'll be cool to kind of see members knocking out rope climbs and how much better they've got.
I'm going to go. So on the rope climb, we've been doing them in isolation. We haven't really kind of exposed them within workouts to too much of an extent. We've got some like direct fatigue straight before it. The toes to bar are going to take away your ability to get your knees up to your elbows. They're going to make it really, really tough. The wall ball work will kind of hit your hip flexors a bit, but not to the extent that the toes to bar will affect the rope climb. So when you're coaching the rope climb, like, I'm a big fan of not jumping into the first wrap. I like to just reach as high as I can, because I noticed that if you jump, you tend to then not be able to lean back as good as you could have done. So encouraging like rear climb's most important one. If you get that, it becomes then a lot easier to get your second and third ones. Scaling options, maybe it's not 3 reps, maybe it's more of a 2 or 1 really good rep. And obviously we put subs in if you don't have enough ropes or ropes at all to do those rope climbs in burpee pull-ups, which is pretty miserable, but it'll be good for you.
Other thing is, if you're pretty limited on how many ropes that you've got, for your members that maybe aren't as proficient at rope climbs, I would just simply move them so that they're straight after the rower bike, so they're not as fatigued going into the rope climb. So again, if there's any members aren't proficient, just move where the rope climbs are, and then obviously you can get more people using the ropes in that workout as well. Coolio. On to moving and grooving Thursdays. Pretty simple one. Just move at a steady RPE. You should come out of this session better than what you went into it. They're all kind of movements that will reinforce good positions. Top plank's going to work your core. We've got strict pull-ups, finishing with a dead hang as well, which will help overhead position, being there for an extended period. Bit of strength work in there as well, and then handstand holds against the wall. Good opportunity to build confidence, getting upside down as well. Anything else you want to add on Thursday?
45 seconds on, 15 seconds off is from a coaching point of view, it's a great class to be communicating to the members throughout. So some workouts, like for instance, the 400-meter run, 21 dumbbell snatch, the Tuesday's workout, once you set them off, you're about managing their threshold. You're pushing them, short actionable cues. You're not really doing anything apart from just getting them through this workout. Whereas this workout, you can, as they're kind of dead hanging, have a quick chat with them, kind of see how everything's going, kind of suss out how training's going for them, life in general, just communicating and building those relationships. Is a bit similar to if you're doing the strength work, the downtime in between, you can go and have a conversation. These are the kind of workouts, because it's a good way to rate cap their RPE. If they're not able to talk to you and you can see they're absolutely sending the machines, you want to back them off of it. So just trying to find those people and communicating to those members that are kind of the grey person. So I don't know if I've ever spoken about this person before. So the grey man or grey, learned this off of a teacher called Chris, who was a coach as well. He said the grey person is not the beginner, because the beginner gets lots of attention because they can't do something. Okay. And then the advanced one, because they're there and they're like really cool to watch and you're trying to get them to further. The grey person's the one in the middle. Never really does it wrong, but never really excels. And they just sit in the middle. They're never going to hurt themselves, but they're the members that you still want to communicate to. And it's a tough act to kind of go between, because obviously you've got the beginner who's going to hurt themselves. You've got the advanced person who's asking for your help. And then you've got the grey person who kind of just sits there, gets on with it. And then one day they might just leave and you think, oh, why did they leave? Did I not give them enough attention? You've lost that chance. So it's a good opportunity to find the grey man or grey woman in the class.
I like that. The grey person. I like it. If you've not got two machines for this EMOM, for one of the machine minutes, just down ups, just wants to be nice and steady. That's a good sub for like a ski erg or something like that. So yeah, down ups or single unders would be a good shout for that other machine minute.
Yeah.
Friday, just an EMOM of strict handstand push-ups. This will be, I always think this is a kind of a great benchmark to do and to always come back to, because it's like, right, in the past, I know I've done 3 strict handstand push-ups for every minute for 10 minutes. And it's like, you come back round to it, right, this time I'm going to start off by doing 4s. You get to the 5th minute doing 4s, and then you might drop back down to 3s, but you've accumulated more reps than you did last time doing strict handstand push-ups in that 10-minute EMOM. And it tends to be a number that everyone always remembers. So yeah, quite a good benchmark to have with the strict handstand push-ups there.
Yeah, I totally agree. The EMOM format's great. Like, a lot of people use it to develop their gymnastics. It's for a beginner level and intermediate people like we have in the gym. EMOMs are enough recovery time, because you're probably working for like 10 to 15 seconds, then you've got a long enough time. Whereas traditional strength training, where you're having 2 to 3 minutes, the overall volume is probably not going to be there, or it's going to take too long and people are going to get a bit bored. So yeah, good format for that.
The workout, this will be similar feels to Tuesday's workout. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
What I'd say is, though, make sure you can get that dumbbell push press unbroken.
Yeah.
So some people may be able to send it from the start, stay unbroken, great. Others might have to pace the 21s a little bit more, and then they can build maybe from the 15s, or it might just be really sending the 9s at the end. So make people aware of that. Where do they think they kind of sit? Where can they start pushing the workout? And it could be that they get the first one slightly wrong. They might wait a little bit too long to push the workout, or they might have gone out a bit too hot too soon. And it's like, right, let's just learn from that first interval. And if you didn't pace it too well, adjust it for the second.
Yeah. Perfect. It's good fun, like being able to put the fitter you are, the earlier you can push. That's the best way to describe it. So leave a little bit in the tank. It's much easier to row or bike a bit slower than it is when your partner's watching you not pick up the dumbbells. So looking at you and you're looking at the dumbbells, that is not a good position to be in. So make sure you're sensible, but then you send it.
Awesome. So for Saturday, we pretty much did this workout a year ago. So we're doing it on the 26th of March there, and we did it on the 24th of March last year. So when I looked back, and I thought that would be a great session to repeat, because Gretel actually came up at semi-finals later on in the year, last year as well. So yeah, good one for the gyms that have been on that long to repeat. And if there's any new gyms that have joined us since, a great benchmark to have. It's one of the newer CrossFit benchmarks. Are you still there? Are you with me?
Sorry. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Sorry. My internet's a bit dodgy today. Apologies, everyone. So the weightlifting work should be a good primer just to kind of help you move well. And then the focus of today should be that Gretel workout. Is there anything that you're emphasizing on the weightlifting work that you would then maybe pass on to the whiteboard workout, Jamie?
Yeah, so if you look at part A, you've got some power cleans, you've got some low hand cleans, you've got some push presses. I would say like a real top level member who's got super strong shoulders may be able to do a power clean straight into a push press for their Gretel reps. Like if you're looking to get as fast a time as possible, if you watch those top guys, they're not doing the rebend, they're power cleaning straight in and push pressing, certainly for the first half of the workout to get ahead of their pace. Now, we don't normally talk about the advanced member on here. We're talking about, well, how are we breaking this down? We want everyone to stay unbroken on the barbell. To 10-minute time cap doesn't seem too hard, but when you start breaking this up, it will start to get longer and longer and longer. So making sure members choose the correct weight and then taking the skills and moving like a princess from the earlier piece into this will allow you to then really push the burpee pace. Whereas if your barbell's bouncing all over the place and you're kind of doing singles, you're looking around the room, you're going to really lose time and intensity.
Yeah. A big one for me that I'd be emphasizing on the weightlifting to help dial in the bar path is that power clean going into the low hang clean. Load up your posterior chain maybe a little bit more than what you usually would, just again, so we're making it more barbell cycling specific. So yeah, that's something that I would, for this session today, just kind of tweak to what maybe I would usually suggest when going into a low hang clean.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sunday to finish off, a chunky partner workout. This looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really fun. It's got a bit for everyone. Those like weekend warriors that want to get a good sweat on, the guys and girls that will like want to feel the pump in their arms and their legs, and just the partner element as well, which kind of keeps that intensity riding high, because you're splitting the work for one, but then secondly, you're not going to want to let your partner down. So when you're feeling like backing off a little bit, you'll realize your partner's not going to let you do that. So yeah, good mix of everything: cardio, upper body pushing, lower body pushing, and some midline in there, to kind of get everything going.
Yeah, nice little beach like muscle session. I'll be heading to the beach after that session for sure.
Well, look, the sun's out, so the sun's got to come out.
Head to Blackpool Beach.
Is that as glam as we get?
That's as glam as we get up north. Blackpool Beach on the promenade, Belton. Hey, right. That kind of probably wraps up. Well, that does wrap up this week. The week after this will be a bit of a lower key week. Call it a taper if you want. We'll still make sure you can, push a few sessions, so we'll kind of keep members happy. And then the week after that will be kind of back into the new season, so to speak. We'll kind of, restart our off-season kind of process from there. We're probably going to drop a few suggestions kind of throughout the year, like maybe gym competitions that you should do, as an example, strength and depth. Just like a bigger overview of the year and just some of our suggestions that we feel would be good to do this next year to help build that community more in your gym. So we'll be dropping that in the next week too as well. All right. Righty, Jamie.
Have a great week, guys.
Appreciate your time, mate. Appreciate all your time as well. Thanks for tuning in.